So, welcome again, and today you can learn actually about Gemischter Satz and maybe a little co-taste some. I have two beautiful wines from Franz Wieninger, really an iconic producers from Vienna, but let's talk about it later. First, let's talk about Gemischter Satz. That's basically a field blend. Actually, in the old days, all of the vineyards were planted like this because this method ensured that in every vintage the vineyard has something to harvest and also at a decent quality, because a field blend is basically different grape varieties planted in one vineyard plot, and then they are harvested together and they are vinified together. So that's actually not a cuvée, because in terms of a cuvée you harvest the wines and then you make the blend later, but in this case, in terms of Gemischter Satz, you make already the cuvée in the vineyard and then you harvest and vinify, co-vinify everything together. And I have really an iconic producer, Franz Wieninger, who has been cultivating his vineyards around Vienna, the Austrian capital, biodynamically since 2008 already, and 2011 was the first vintage when he was certified. So I think two iconic wines from him also, from around Nussberg, Ried Ulm, and also Ried Rosengartel. These are premier crus, so to say. And also about Gemischter Satz maybe, or Wiener Gemischter Satz. That's actually one of the 13 DACs in Austria. That's similar to DOC in Italy, for example. You can look it up if you want, or I can make another video. Please leave a comment below if you don't know what it is. And so that's basically a typical way how these terroirs should present themselves in the wine words. Just put it very briefly. And Wiener Gemischter Satz should consist of at least 3 grape varieties, and like the major grape variety shouldn't be more, or is not allowed to be more of 55% of the blend, and the third grape should be at least 10%. And so it's really a field blend, and really interesting, complex, and also vielschichtig, that's in Deutsch. So it's a lot of layers could be detected in the wine. So it's around 600-700 hectares in the capital of Austria left, with this kind of DOC, or with this kind of methodology to make wine. But let's go with the first wines, and we will get to it. So the first wine is actually the Ried Lamb 2019 vintage, and I actually did a little research about these wines. That's why I'm actually serving this wine in this beautiful Salto Burgunde glass. The Bordeaux is really huge. Bordeaux fits the demands pretty well this time. So I actually spent some time already with these wines, because I didn't only want to give the first impression, but also just eat something with it and have like some times with the wine, just thinking about it. So first the Ried Lamb. And first about maybe the wine. So Wiener Gemischter Satz should be at least 12.5% alcohol. This wine have 14.5. That's so really powerful white wine, so to say. And really the Ried Lamb is in Nussberg, but really steep and really steep slopes, so south facing on the eastern part of Nussberg. If you don't know what Nussberg is Nussberg is really an iconic place in around Vienna, because actually in Vienna the vineyards are really like surrounding the town and go or finish into the Viennese woods. And Nussberg is on the southern bank of the river Danube, and that's where actually the soil is extremely calcareous and this shell limestone and also fossilized shells all around, so it's really calcareous. Wow, beautiful nose. And so we are talking about a biodynamic vintner, so spontaneous fermentation is given, and actually like 75% of the blend was fermented in stainless steel, and then 25% in large oak barrels. And we have 9 grape varieties in this blend, so Grüne Veltliner, Neuburger, Welschriesling, also Pinot Blanc or Weißburgunder, Rotgiflet, Zielfrander, Riesling, Silvaner. So all of these grape varieties have actual different ripening potential and also aromatic profile, and that's why Gemischter Satz is always very complex and mesmerizing, I think. And also the nose is, I did some notes, if I may allow to read them already, because I think it's very important not to judge a wine in like 1 or 2 minutes. You should leave some air to it, and also with the temperature, how does it change, and also your perception of the wine. So actually the nose is quite mysterious, and the fruity quality of the wine seems very ripe, almost overripe, and almost this exotic papaya kind of deal. But I also smelled some more spice and also some sweet spice, also like cinnamony Richtung, cinnamony direction, and like it's very mysterious and mesmerizing and very complex already. Yeah, you want to take this step, and you're very curious about the wine. Yeah, and it's very like a smorgasbord of aromas. It's really apricot in any form, and also some peach, yeah, overripe pear, Lisbon lemon. Also the acidity is kind of, it's not saline or it's not salty, but kind of organic. And also some persimmon, yeah, gingery kind of grind ginger, because it has a bite really on the palate. Some yeastiness, also some lees contact was also with this wine involved, at least like 8, 9, 10 months. So really decisive lees contact, fine lees contact. And also some, yeah, nectarine, but also some salinity at the finish, so like a Celtic salt, you know, not this kind of really salty, but kind of aromatic saltiness. And also has some phenolic grip, almost like this orange grind kind of thing. But the nose is kind of flowery also, so it has this jasmine, almost chamomile, daffodil kind of aromas. So very interesting nose. I think this wine could go with the variety of food, maybe also a Wiener Schnitzel would be also a perfect pairing, but also with really some serious meat and serious aged cheese. And also very beautiful wine. So let's go for the other one. So let's go for the Rosengartel. Actually, it's also in the Nussberg, but kind of in the middle of Nussberg and also south facing. And that's historically a very prestigious vineyard. Already the Habsburg Empire, there was a huge demand for these wines. And we have less grape varieties, so with the other one we had 9, and with this one we have 5, and actually 50% of the blend is Grüner Veltliner, and then we have some Weißburgunder, Riesling, Traminer, and I think Neuburger was the 5th one, and only stainless steel tanks, a little bit less lees aging, and I think the nose on this is more direct, kind of. The quality of the fruit is a bit fresher, it's like a fresh bite in a stone fruit, maybe a bit less flowery also. So that's very fruity nose, and also maybe a hint of yeastiness, but very light. And yeah, wow, it has a moderate acidity, but it's still very mouth-watering, but it's less saline maybe. Ooh, and the lees content is palpable, so it has like a thick layer which is constantly blooming on your palate, so it has a very long aftertaste, and all these kind of aromas just developing on your palate, but maybe a bit more creamy now, so almost kind of limey, and also some nectarine, and also some kind of fresher fruit, so like apple and pear comes to my mind. So it's a hint of more freshness in this wine. And you know, but I don't want to sell this wine as fatty or opulent or lazy. So it has it's very concentrated. It has also 14.5% 100% alcohol, but you don't feel it. It's, even though it's very concentrated and binded together, it's still refreshing. And it's like a woman in a short dress, you know. It's like it needs some more attention, maybe some more time, some more sips to really go deep into what she has to offer, so to say. So the quality of the fruit is rather fresh. That's what I also wrote down. The nose also shows some bright stoniness that I can really confirm, which then transforms into light salinity on the tongue. And yeah, especially in the finish. But it's very white, and the acidity is actually more organic. The salinity comes in the finish. And what I wrote down is also this is the definition of trinkfluss, or willingness to drink, because you have some salinity, you have some, your saliva is working, but you have so much aromas, you want to taste them and you want to demystify them. So very beautiful wine. Thank you, Franz Wieninger, for these wines, and also for Salto actually to amplify these wines, because I think this universal white wine glass is perfect for the Rosengartel, but also the Ried maybe needs some more air also because of the partially oxidated winemaking. So beautiful wines, and I can really encourage you to look up this producer and also drink more Gemischter Satz, because that's also actually the history, but also maybe the future. So thanks for joining.